When you are able to get the exact content, you will not be in a position to like you will not lose money, monetary benefits, right? It can be used to perform the sentimental analysis to gauge the customer brand loyalty. That is how it has been used. Like, see, if I want to go in for purchase of a certain thing, right? Wherein wherein we can easily we can identify. Say for example, in the recent times, people say like there are data science. Based on data science, they go in for some marketing. According to me, if you want to, if you want, you say if you manufacture a product, what do you do if you want to sell it? Do you market it immediately? If you are going to market it immediately, then you are losing. If you are going to manufacture a product, if you want to sell it, you have to register your brand. Brand registration is mandatory. Your brand should be recognized. Like, this is a product that is available. First of all, brand registration should be done. Brand should be recognized. Brand recognition should be done. Then only you need to go in for marketing. So this is the process. This is how this data science even works. So when you manufacture, when you want to distribute it, do not do marketing initially. Go in for brand registration, go in for brand recognition, then go in for this marketing, right? So then only you can have this kind of sentimental analysis. So that gives the brand loyalty for the customer. It enables, this data science enables to take better and faster decisions. How it works, what sort of quality measures that I need to adopt in order to improve my product. So it helps to recommend the right product to the right customer to enhance the business. So now let us see the different types of data. As far as the types of data is concerned, the data is classified into two types. One is called as a structured data, other one is called as an unstructured data. As far as the structured data is concerned, as I said, as in the initial times, the phone number, which is said to have only 10 digits, the credit card number, which will be of 16 digits, 4 digits will be separated. The PIN code number, the PIN code number will be of 6 digits. Pan India, across India, wherever you go, the PIN code number will be of 6 digits. So
Sir
everything
Ganesh,
is to
sir.
be. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir,
Solunga, sir.
please hold for some time, sir. The participants are waiting. Let's they'll come and join with us. Then they can continue, sir.
Stop sharing the
So
screen.
wait for. Okay.
Please stop share the slides
Okay.
for a few minutes.
Okay.
So
இதுலேருந்து
after
நான்
the
continue
participants.
பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
Okay,
Within the
okay,
app.
okay, okay,
Okay.
Stop பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
okay,
I
sir.
will. Okay. Okay. I will wait. I will wait.
Okay, sir. Thank you, thank you. Please hold in line.
Okay.
So stop sharing, sir.
Sir, stop sharing. Huh?
Ama, sir. Uh,
ஏன்னா சார் நம்ம ரொம்ப ஸ்டாப் ஷேர் பண்ணும்போது
uh,
நானும் இதுவாயிட போகுதுன்னு இதுவா இருக்கு.
இல்ல சார், no problem.
இஷ்யூஸ் வந்துடக்கூடாது. நல்லா ஓடணும் இல்லையா? அதனால.
கண்டிப்பா. So if possible, also mute your video, sir. Ganesh, sir.
சார்
ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து உங்க வீடியோ கூட நீங்க ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா வந்து பேண்ட்வித் நமக்கு கொஞ்சம் கரெக்டாக கிடைக்கும்.
ஓகே, அது எப்படி ஆஃப் பண்றது?
உங்க வீடியோ
வீடியோ ஆஃப் பண்ணவா? என்னோட வீடியோ ஆஃப் பண்ணவா?
ஆமா சார், ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் பேண்ட்வித் கொஞ்சம் நமக்கு.
பண்ணிட்டேன்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார். ப்ளீஸ் வெயிட் ஃபார் few minutes.
ஓகே, ஷூர்.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் தான் ஜாயின் பண்ணுறேன்.
ஆமா அந்த லாகின் போட்டாருந்தா கிளாஸ் அட்டெண்ட் பண்றது அதுலதான் நான் பண்ணி
Sir Ganesh, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please continue, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
No issue, sir. No issue, sir.
Okay,
So
okay,
I'll be
okay, okay.
continuing from the place where I stopped, right?
Yes, okay.
Yes, sir. So welcome back. We were discussing about the types of data. As far as the types of data is concerned, it is classified into two different types. One is called as a structured data. Other one is said to be the unstructured data. So what is a structured data? In a structured data, the examples are the mobile phone numbers. As far as the mobile phone number is concerned, it will be of 10 digits across India, wherever, whatever mobile that you use, whatever service provider that you taken, it will be of 10 digits. The other example is the credit card. The credit card numbers. As far as the credit card number is concerned, it will be of 16 digits. 4 digits will be equally separated. So it will be of 16 digits. And the next one is, next structured data example is concerned, we will take an example of a pin code. As far as the pin code is concerned, it will be of 6 digits, right? So pan India, it will be only 6 digits. So these are all the examples of structured data. And let us see the example of an unstructured data. As far as unstructured data is concerned, the images, the audio, the video, the image will be of any size. The audio can be of any size, any format. The video can be of any size, any format, wherein it is not in a structured way. See, wherein the size is not determined at the initial hand, at the prior hand. So hence it is said to be the structured data. Now let us see how the data science works. First of all, we need to collect an data, right? We collect the n number of data and we hold all the data at one particular point. And according to me, this data science is more beneficial for lady staff members, for ladies, for women candidates. This is according to me. Why? Because see, most of the women are good at gossiping. They love gossiping. So they will be finding faults, or they will be listening to whatever people say, and then they will be spreading that issue to someone else, right? There are certain exceptional cases also. Likewise, they gather so much of data from one particular person and they send it to someone else, right? See, like even when you could take your own family, usually your spouse, your wife, or your wife, if you're a male person, your wife, what she will do is they will listen to whatever you say and whatever you narrate. They will listen everything carefully, keenly, and at one particular point of time, when some issue comes into your family, they will whatever they remember, they will be telling it across. So that is where the data acquisition comes in. They acquire the data, whatever the spouse says, they acquire the data, and they let it out when and where it is required. It is mostly common in the married family, in most of the families, and they get the data. They are good at gossiping. There are exceptional cases. So the example why I say is, this is an example for data acquisition, and they transform it in whatever manner that they like. So, whatever data that you acquire, it is not mandatory that you need to transform the entire contents. So, whatever is required to be transformed, that will be transformed, and they and the data analysis work, they analyze what is to be done. For example, in terms of budgeting, if you're going to earn 30,000 rupees per month, for example, so most of the middle class family people, they will be having a budget like this amount should be kept for paying the rent, this amount should be kept for paying the EMI, this amount should be kept for paying the book fees, paying the term fees for your kids, and this amount will be kept for the other purposes, other unknown untoward purposes. So you analyze, first of all, what are the expenses that are expected for this particular month. So you analyze and you work out, right? And when you're going to analyze things, the more than theory part, people will be placing it as an image, because image is worth thousand words, a picture is worth thousand words. So then you model it. The first three, see, there are, I suppose in the screen that has been shared, you can find five different terms. Out of the five different terms, the first three terms are most common, right? The most common in the sense people will be following it commonly. Data acquisition, data transformation, data analysis is most common. Fourth term, data modeling. Here comes the change. The data modeling has different kinds of data algorithms. The way you look at your data, the way you analyze your data, the way you model your data. So that makes a difference. In the data modeling only, they implement many different algorithms. So based on the algorithms, it has been modeled. Then it has been visualized. How you are going to project yourself. Many people, they know, they are good at technical things. They are good at programming, but many people, they do not know how to project at all. Many people, there will be few people, they might not be knowing anything technical, they do not know coding at all, but they are good at projecting. How you project yourself, how it is seen visually, how you are going to explicitly define your data that you have captured, speaks about the fifth term called data visualization, right? So this is the five terminologies that you need to make a note of it. I suppose viewers, you can make a note of these five different terminologies, because when you know these five different terminologies only, you can work out with data science. We will relate this five different terms with a real-time example that we'll be seeing it shortly. Now, these are some of the components of data science. Okay, can you think, uh, whomsoever who is good at gossiping, whomsoever who is good at acquiring the data can become a data scientist? No, they need to have a mathematical background. They need to be good at statistics in the sense, you need to know, you need to analyze, you need to know. They should be good at probability and statistics. If they are good at, definitely the scope is for them. They can become a data scientist, they can become a data engineer, they can become a data analyst. So these are some of the job roles which you'll be seeing it shortly. So you need to be good at statistics, and a data scientist should have an expertise in the domain. See, people might be saying, you would have encountered some of your cousins or some of your relatives will be, some of your kids even will be working in software industries. When they are narrating, when they are discussing with their friends, they'll be saying which platform you are working in, which domain you are working in. Why I'm saying this is, there are participants from the other departments. So to have a clarity, I'm saying this. Which platform you are working in, which domain you are working in. What is the difference between a platform and a domain? A platform is, what is the operating system that you're working in? What is the server that you're working in? Whether you work in the Windows operating system, whether you work in the Linux operating system, whether you work in Exchange server, whether you work in Cisco. So that determines a platform. The domain is which domain you work in. Like whether you work in the banking domain, whether you work in an insurance domain, whether you work in a retail domain, whether you work in a financial domain. So those things happens to be the domain. So I suppose participants, you might be knowing the difference between a platform and a domain. A platform denotes the operating system, domain denotes the banking or retail or finance or so on and so forth. So a person who is said to be a data scientist, he needs to be a domain expert. He needs to know in which domain he is going to work in. Next comes the data engineering. As far as the data engineering is concerned, how a person, how a data scientist is going to analyze the work and how he is going to work out what is the algorithm that he is going to use, and that comes how he is going to engineer. As far as the engineering is concerned, you might be knowing, I suppose the computer science people might be knowing the difference between re-engineering and reverse engineering even. Re-engineering is, you say for example, you go to your friend's house. There you eat, there they serve you a breakfast or there they serve you lunch, right? Let us consider you have been served lunch and you made, like, what is the ingredients that they have given, and based on whatever they the similar kind of dish and you serve it to your family. That is called as reverse engineering, re-engineering. As far as reverse engineering is concerned, what happens is that as you say for example you are going to purchase a toy from the salary that you have got, and what happens is that as supposing if a kid breaks the toy that you have purchased, and you have invested around 70% of your salary to purchase that toy, what will you do? We will disassemble it, we will reassemble it, will make all sort of pastures, and we will try to work it out. That is called as reverse engineering. So here in data engineering, people work with engineering, people work with re-engineering, people work with reverse engineering with the domain expertise and the statistics that they have. They analyze, they implement, they use their own algorithms and they work out. That is called as data engineering. And whatever you do, finally if the toy that works in, then it is been seen visually. So that is called as the visualization. That is the fourth component, and we implement this to an advanced computing. That comes under the fifth thing. This, all these five things are said to be the components of data science. Next comes, so these are the explanations that I have given for the previous slide of the components of data science. So as far as statistics is concerned, is a method of science of collecting, analyzing numerical data in large quantities to get useful insights. So people should be good at statistics as well in probability. Visualization, it helps to access huge amount of data that can be easily understood by visual means. As I said earlier, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, right? When you could represent it diagrammatically, you can understand it in a better way. Nowadays the kids are more like they know better than their elders. When supposing if my mobile phone gets struck, I used to give it to my kid, I used to give it to my younger kid who knows better mechanism than me. So he will rectify it and he will give it to me at an earlier. How people are so conversant, how they are able to do it well? Because nowadays anything and everything we search in Google. Anything if we have any problem, we will be discussing it through we will be checking it through the YouTube, and then based on the YouTube, based on solution that has been given in the YouTube, we work it out. In the olden days, we don't have such provision of YouTube or Google, so we were all only bookish. So this is an example of visualization. When we able to see contents through, when we are able to observe through visually, then it is called as visualization. So it It helps to access huge amount of data that can be easily understood by visual means. Next is the machine learning. Machine learning is about the study of algorithms. So it explores the building and study of algorithms which learn to make predictions about the unforeseen or the future data. Next is about the deep learning. As far as the deep learning is concerned, it is also again, see, when you, the difference between machine learning and deep learning is you you mine even more better things. Mining is, what is mining? Wherein you dig more and more things. When you dig, when you analyze, when you keep on analyzing things, you get the contents. That is called as deep learning. The deep learning method is a new machine learning research where the algorithm select the analysis model to follow. So now let us see the data science users. As far as the data science users are concerned, we have many different users such as these are some of the Illuminatis: the Facebook, Amazon, Uber, Bank of America, Airbnb, Spotify. Okay. What is this Facebook? Okay, what is an Illuminati? Who are Illuminatis? Illuminatis are people who decide the society, who rule the world. The Google is said to be one of the Illuminati. Why do we say Google as an Illuminati? When you type something, when you type some when you type something, where and what happens is that is like all those things whatever you type, when you browse through your mobile, when you browse through your mobile, whatever you typed in your system appears in the mobile. How does it appear? Because there you have logged in with your email id. Here in your mobile also you would have logged in with your email id. So that comes as a mapping. So likewise, whatever you do in the system gets reflected in the mobile. Say, for example, I take my own example. My kids are fond of browsing the cartoons. They used to browse, they used to see cartoons such as Doraemon, Shinchan, so on and so forth. So when I open my mobile with my user ID in my system also there will be my my email ID will be linked. Here in my mobile, if I open, I will be getting messages as these are the new episodes that are available, new cartoon scenes that are available. So that is how you are being trapped. You are being tracked and trapped. So now comes the Facebook. The example of a Facebook is in the Facebook, initially you will be giving all sort of your personal details such as name, age, gender, your birthday details, your marriage date details, so on. I suppose now you would have witnessed some 2 years before. I have, if you would have posted some of the photographs that you have taken in some of the favorite places. So you will be getting the same old photographs as memories. So how do they get it? That is all because from 2 years since you would have placed it, and that has been tracked, that has been notified. So this is the work of a data scientist. So this is where the data science plays. So in Facebook, and when you're going to browse certain things, when you're good at when you want to learn more on the data science topics, so when you're going to browse your wall in Facebook, what happens is that is you will be finding an advertisement stating that do you want to become a data scientist? Do you want to earn more? So likewise, you get certain ads. How do you get it? It is all because you have been mapped with many different sectors, many different stages. So the next example is Amazon. In the Amazon, it is used for the improving the e-commerce experience. For example, if you're going to purchase a mobile phone, after you add it to cart, you will be getting a message, a pop-up window stating as these are the other items which has been purchased by the other community people. The people who has purchased the mobile phone has as well purchased the charger, speaker, the Bluetooth speaker, and so on. Initially, when you try to purchase certain things, and when you have your family people near you, your wife or your kids, what they do is your intention will be in purchasing a mobile phone worth some 8,000 or 9,000 rupees. But your kid, he may be interested in purchasing a speaker. When he sees these are the available items that were purchased by so on and so forth, he will as well say, Daddy, Daddy, you purchase the speaker as well. So what happens is that you will be forced to purchase the because of your loved one's compulsion. So finally, this is where the data science plays a major role. That is where the sentimental analysis plays a major role. This is where you have been attacked sentimentally, wherein you will not neglect your kid's wish of purchasing a speaker. You will be purchasing it. Who is the beneficiary? In your family, your kid is your beneficiary, he gets a speaker. Who else is a beneficiary? The seller, the vendor who is going to sell the speaker, he becomes a beneficiary. They get commission. The mobile phone person, he will get commission from the speakers even because this becomes an add-on. Okay, now who is a loser? Is there any loser? Yes, it is you who is a loser because you shell a huge amount of money because you went on for purchasing only mobile phone, but you are forced to purchase these speakers even. So you shell out even more money. So when it comes to money matters, you may be a loser, but as far as the gaining part is concerned, your kids are gaining. So in that way, you also gain. So this is where the data science plays. Next is about the Uber. As far as the Uber is concerned, okay, let us see this with the different examples. As I said, here in this example, in this Facebook, wherein you get certain messages. Now, if you're fond of cricket, right? I suppose you can find Ganguly speaking with someone else, right? To the media, right? Wherein this becomes the this becomes an ad. So wherein you can know things out, right? So this one, I suppose many people might be using this Amazon Prime or the Netflix, right? As far as Netflix is concerned, Netflix, wherein you can see all sort of movies. This data science, it is they classify into two types of filtering. One is called as a collaborative filtering, other one is called as a content-based filtering. What is a content-based filtering? When you are going to watch movies, few people will be good. They will like to watch action movies. Few people they will like to watch comedy genres. Few people they will like to watch the romantic genres. So on. It depends on the person whoever is watching, right? When you're watching a comedy genre movie, after you watch, it will be listing like these are the other comedy genre movies that are available. Do you want to watch it then? Watch it at a later time. That is called as content-based filtering. Now, what is a collaborative filtering? Here, you will be watching a comedy movie, and your friend or an unknown person, he will also will be watching a comedy movie. So to him, it will be suggesting. See, these many people they have watched a comedy movie, and these many movies also were also watched by them. So, do you want to watch it? So, they are going to give recommendations based on others whoever has watched the comedy movie. Such filtering you call it as collaborative filtering. So collaborative filtering is a filtering which is a mechanism which is used to share your views to a different user. Content based filtering is a type of filtering wherein you have been filtered based on the content. This is the movie I watched. These are the other comedy genres available. That is called content based filtering. So these are the two types of filtering that has been used by the Netflix. The next is the Amazon. As I said, see, I purchased a mobile phone, and these are some of the chargers, some of the accessories that are available. Do you want to purchase? So this is an example for Amazon and Uber. How do Uber works in? Do you think the rides are the ride costing is same throughout for the entire 24 hours? No, not at all. It depends on the type of ride, the time of ride. When you are going to make a ride by in the daytime, somewhere by 12 o'clock or between 12 to 3, 12 and 3, what happens is that the costing will be, say for example, going to travel somewhere around during the peak hour, charge you double. If you uh, supposing if the geographical location, supposing if it is going to rain heavily, then definitely he is going to charge you 1.5 times more. So how do they do it? Based on the time factor. So here, this is where the data science plays a huge role, right? So okay, now so these are some of the data science uses which you have seen. Now we will see, from where do I get the data? Is there any specific website to get the data? Yes, you do have. There is a website called www.data.world. When you click in, you need to register yourself through your Google account or through your Facebook. Again you can see registration can be done from sign in, or they will be asking you can register through Google, Facebook, so on. Why do they ask so? When you register through your Google account, whatever data that you have stored, that you have shared to Google, will be used by this guy, will be used by this user. So again, your data has been taken out, it has been thefted, right? Now in this, after you register, if I want to find out the rainfall, so based on the rainfall, earlier rainfall, if I want to predict whether it will rain now or not, so here what I take is, in this data world, I am analyzing the rainfall of from October to December. When I click in, I get the rainfall data of the past 55 years in the southern states of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. Okay, what do I do? Based on the data that I have, the content that I have, I will be analyzing. I will be telling whether it will be raining this time or not. Based on the previous history, I can tell it. Okay, what is the other example that I could cite as? Say, for example, many people are good at trading stocks and shares. What do they do is, based on the stocks and shares, uh, share market, if you think like for the past 1 week, if it is rising, if it is at the rising trend, if it is at a profit level, at the seventh day, what we will do is, we will also have an intention of purchasing, thinking that, predicting that at the eighth day it will also rise and we can sell it out. So this is where your data science plays. You analyze, you get the data, you get the data of the past 7 days, you analyze the contents, and then you purchase it, and then you, if it is going to rise in the 8th day also, you sell it out. But few people are so greedy. They will wait on the 8th day also. They will think, okay, let me wait for 9th and 10th day. It will, if it is going to rise, then it is rising. So I'll be more profitable. So they will wait till 10th day. But in the 11th day, for their shock and surprise, what will happen is, their share market will go to the rock bottom. So they will lose all the money. So you should not become over greedy. So you should sell it off. So that is where the role of data scientist plays. They will be finding out, they will be telling you where, how, when to sell. So this is how the share market even works, right? So these are some of the data science algorithms. I am not going into the details of the data science algorithms, because initially I thought of going into details, but now when I could find the participants from different departments, these are some of the data science algorithms that are available. Linear regression, decision tree algorithm, SVM is nothing but support vector machines algorithm, naive Bayes algorithm, k nearest neighbor algorithm, random forest algorithm. What is a linear regression algorithm? What is a regression? I suppose few people would have taken subjects like software engineering. What is regression? What is the difference between regression and integration? Regression is, you say, for example, if I'm going to study for an examination, if tomorrow is my if tomorrow is my semester examination, let us consider. Usually boys, what they will do is, like me, people like me, I will study only in the morning. But if the examination starts by 10 o'clock, people will take the book by 9 o'clock. They will roam around. They will ask what are things that are required, and then whatever your friend says, and you will be writing it. That is how many people like me study. But usually the girls, the ladies, what they do is, they would have studied the entire 5 units, and they will be revising it. They will not revise once. They will revise once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. Even after 21st time, they will have a doubt whether they have studied or not. But people like me, they will be studying only at the last moment. There are exceptions even. So when you are going to study again and again the same old topic, you are doing a regression. That is called as regression. You are browsing the contents again and again. You are regressing it again and again. Why do you need to do it? You are analyzing what else can be taken from this content. Your husband, if you are a lady, your husband would have said only a few topic about his family. But when a quarrel arises, your wife, when a quarrel arises, there are exceptions. I am only speaking about the exception cases. When a quarrel arises, she will dig the entire hereditary. So that becomes a regression. You analyze, you analyze, you analyze. So this linear regression speaks in a linear way. What is linear? Consecutively, you analyze things. That is linear regression. Decision tree. What is a decision tree? Based on the table. Say, for example, if you want to, if your kid is said to be, if he is in the 12th standard, if you want him to join engineering, let us consider there are n number of avenues available. He can go into arts and science, he can go into engineering, he can go into the law degree, he can go into the paramedical, he can go into the medical. So this is where the decision tree is. Okay, now you have chosen engineering as a thing. Okay, when you have taken engineering, now again the decision tree comes into picture. What department I need to take? Whether I need to go in for computer science, whether I need to place my kid in computer science engineering, electronics, mechanical, civil, biomedical, so on. Okay. Now your kid says, no, by seeing the YouTube and Google, I like computer science. Okay. You placed him in computer science. Now, after listening to my lecture, oh, when I place my kid in data science, or when I place my kid in the computer science and business systems, or when I place my kid in the artificial intelligence, he will be even more in a better way. Again, the decision tree comes into picture. Whether to, in computer science, whether I need to place my kid in software engineering or data science or into artificial intelligence or into the other contents. So, there the decision tree plays a major role. Where to place my kid in. So, after listening to my lecture, you are placing your kid in the data science. So, that is an example for a decision tree. See, I'm giving you the overview of an example. SVM, support vector missions. Like, you might think like, see, my neighbor, he has made his son to study in such and such XYZ college. So because of he making his son study in the XYZ college, that fellow is now working in IBM. Now that fellow is now working in Microsoft. That fellow is now working in Google. So I will also make my kid to join in such and such college, so that my son will also go into this, will also work in Google, which will be a credit to me and my family. That is the support. That is, whoever is your nearby area, whoever is working, or they have made their kids to join, so you will also fall into their prey. So you will also go behind them, you will also try to make your what join, but finally your kid may not get placed, so you will curse them. So that is a different story. So this is the support. You don't supposing if your neighbors kids, if your entire locality people, they make their wards to join in a college called the Immaculate College for Women in Virur, you will also then go in and make your kid join in the same old college. So presuming that your kid will also shine well, that is an SVM. So similarly, we have other algorithms, because if I'm going to discuss more on these algorithms, it will take much amount of time. The naive Bayes algorithm, the K nearest neighbor algorithm, the random forest algorithm. Random forest algorithm results in the clustering. So many people join in this many colleges. So many people, they take this many groups, this many branches. So I will also make my kid to join. So that speaks about this random forest algorithm. So these are some of the algorithms that works in. Okay, which phase? I suppose you might be remembering, we were discussing about 5 different terms of the data science. Which terminology or which concept uses this kind of algorithm? Yes, it is the data modeling. Fourth one, The fourth point speaks about the data modeling. In the data modeling, they use this algorithm. As I said, the first three models are similar, and the fourth one, the data modeling. In the data modeling only, you will be using this algorithm where it it changes your career, it changes the life, it changes the analysis work, right? So this is the data science algorithms. Now, let us see some of the skills required for a data scientist. Who can be a data scientist? First of all, as I said initially, a person who need to be a domain expert, who needs to have a knowledge in the domain where he's going to work, who needs to have an idea on statistics and probability, or who are good at statistics and probability, right? Who needs to have a good programming knowledge. What kind of programming knowledge are required? Sir, many people, I do not know programming at all. If I do not know programming, will I not be in a position to, will I not be in a position to be in the computer science field? Without programming, you can survive in computer science field. There are n number of job opportunities in computer science field without having programming knowledge. Even the data science, like when you're good at gossiping, when you're good at collecting stories, you call it as the user stories. Even for the agile development nowadays, they use the user stories. So wherein you need to collect the story, you need to narrate them, you need to place it in such a way that it becomes in a sequential way, right? Okay, what sort of programming knowledge I need to have to become a data scientist? uh, you let me know one or two programming language so that I will become familiar with. Here, the Python language, the R language. When you are conversant with the Python language, when you are conversant with the R language, definitely you can become a data scientist. There are other languages. Okay, you might say, no sir, now only I studied Java language. Now only I studied C language. I'm good at C language. I do not know Python. So how do I implement, how do I use my Java with this Python? Is there a way? What you do is, if you're an expert in Java, you learn basics of Python. Then there is a language called Jython, Jython, which is a combination of Python and Java. There is a language called Cython, Cython, which is a combination of C language and Python. So whatever language that you know can be incorporated in the Python, wherein they as well have a separate platform. They name it as Jython, Cython, so on. So for which you need to know your language and this Python, which will be a added value for the programming knowledge. And statistics and probability, you need to analyze, for which you need to have a mathematical skills. You need to have the visualization. As I said, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. So you need to have a visual effect. So the visualization tools. And then you need to have a domain knowledge, which is said to be the business knowledge. Now, let us take a real-time example. As I said in the initial session, like we will deal whatever we saw so far with a real-time example. Nowadays, many colleges, they suffer for admissions. How do you make your college to become a full-fledged, to have full-fledged admissions? What do you do for making your college to have a full-fledged admission? Is there a way? Yes, the data scientist has the way. Okay, how do I do it? You identify the schools, nearby schools. Not only the nearby schools, identify schools across Tamil Nadu, across India. If you are a university, if you are a college which is renowned for the entire Tamil Nadu, you identify schools across Tamil Nadu. If you are a college, if you are identified for the entire locality, you identify the nearby schools. Now, okay, sir, I have identified the nearby schools. What do? You make a school visit. Okay, sir, I went to the school. You collect the database. You meet the principal. You keep some test there in the schools. You take the database. You collect the database. Okay, sir, with the consent of the principal, because I should not get a complaint like without consent of the principal or the management, they have collected the database. With the consent of the principal, you collect the database. Okay, sir, I have collected the database. Now, even with your neighbors and friends circle, if anyone has studied 12th standard, you let them, you you place it in your database. Like these are the friends I have who have completed 12th standard. They wanted to join their arts and science program or engineering program. Okay, you let them know the benefits of the scholarships that is there. Okay, now I have done. Now with the collected mobile numbers, with the database in sense the mobile numbers, with the mobile numbers, okay, I have mobile numbers, sir, but even then I am not getting admission. How do I go in for getting admissions? With the mobile numbers, if you have mobile numbers alone, you will not get admission. You need to call them. Okay, if I call them, they say, sir, this is the time of COVID-19, this is the time of corona, this is the time of lockdown, we have not completed 12th exam itself, so after let the results come, after that I will join. Okay, now, okay, will you keep the phone? That's all. Will you not be calling? Then there you make the mistake. Okay, how do you need to convince them? You need to speak them, you need to tell them about the scholarship and other offers. They at the other end recipient, they'll say, sir, we know all scholarship offers, sir, let the result come. Okay, now you place the phone off. Then you classify the collected mobile numbers and the calls based on three different criteria: hot, warm, and cold. Okay, how do I place it into hot? Few people they say, sir, I am interested to join only in this college because my neighbors have joined. So that becomes a plus for you. You identify that number, you make it as hot call, right? You speak to him twice or thrice. You collect the WhatsApp number of him. You send your brochure, soft copy of the brochure to his WhatsApp number. After 10 days, give him 10 days time. The 11th day, you call him. You say, how are you? How is he doing? And then, what is his idea of joining in this college? So you make a frequent calls to that particular fellow. That becomes a hot call. If he says, sir, I am interested, but if my friend joins, I can join. You place it as a warm call. What do you do? In the warm call, you will be you will be saying it as, okay, these are the warm call. So you get the number of the friend. You tell him, sir, you can join this college. When you're going to join, your friend will also join. To your friend, to his friend, you can say like that. To this guy, you can say, you can join this college if your friend is going to join. So likewise, you get 2 admissions. So if it is a cold call, what is a cold call? People might say, do not disturb, I'm not at all interested, I'm not eligible at all, I belong to commerce accounts group, and I'm not eligible for engineering. Okay, you place it as a cold call. There will be wrong numbers. You place it as a cold call. There will be numbers which are not picked at all, which are switched off, which are not in use at all. So you place it as cold call. So likewise, this is where you make the analysis part. This is where you make the data science part. Right now, so I suppose now with that example, you can, I suppose, many colleges, because when I could see the chat box, I can find many different college principals even who are participating in this. So now I suppose you can become a driving force to your staff members, and you can get more and more admissions. So that is the reason I gave this example. I thought of giving a different example, so I have given this example because this becomes a data science work, and you can drive them, the faculty. Now let us see the tools for data science. So as far as data analysis is concerned, the R language, the Spark language, the Python languages will act as a data analysis tool. As far as the data warehouse is concerned, what is a warehouse? A warehouse is a place wherein you store a repository, a database, a godown. In general terms, a godown. A godown is a place wherein you store all sort of your junk materials. In your house, where do you store? You have a loft. You put everything, your junk materials in the loft, right? So that becomes a warehouse. Here, the place where you store it, the Hadoop is a warehouse, wherein for which you use it for the big data. The SQL, the Oracle is a structured query language, is used to retrieve the contents from the database where you're stored. The Hive is a data warehouse. As far as the data visualization is concerned, R language again is a visualization tool. Tableau. What is a Tableau? Whatever data that you have, when you're going to store it as a table, you can easily fetch the contents. So Tableau, which your data will be stored in the form of tables. Then machine learning is also one of the tools for data science, where you have languages such as Spark, Azure Machine Language Studio, Mahout. Who is a Mahout? A Mahout is also used in the big data. We are not going to deal in detail about the big data. Mahout is something like in Tamil you call it as Yanai Pahan, a person who takes care of the elephant, right? So a person who he knows what is required for that elephant. He knows what is the need that is to be satisfied for that elephant to work more. So that is called as Mahout, the machine learning algorithm. So these are some of the tools for data science. Now let us see some of the applications of data science. So this with the data science, it is used in internet search. As I said, in Google, when you start typing, how do, if you type like that itself, how do I find, you will get, right? And nowadays, with the help of TensorFlow is a Google library. I suppose even nowadays you have a smart compose in Gmail. As I am, if you're going to type like this, or this is for, when you type like this, in the smart compose, you have for a kind reference you will be getting. When you press the tab key, that kind reference will be automatically typed in. You need not key in. That is an application of data science, which uses a library called TensorFlow, which is a Google library. Okay, we are not going to speak. If you want, you browse about what TensorFlow is, right? Or it will be handled in the data analytics session, which will be coming in the due course of your FTP, of the 5-day FTP program. In the internet search, whatever the frequently searched things comes in. So that becomes an internet search. The other example is the image and speech recognition. So whatever images that you have used in, whatever, if you're going to speak, like if you have seen some of the movies, if you want to speak the password, right, it will be recognizing your voice. So that recognition, speech recognition, gaming world, it is used. The frequent games that are used, and for price comparisons, you have Compare Raja, you have many different Amazons itself. You can compare the prices between Flipkart, Snapdeal, same product, wherein you'll be having 3 4 prices. And then about the stock market analysis, as I said, about the share markets, for the past 1 week this is the rising trend, then the 8th day what will be the analysis. For personalized recommender system, what is the recommender system that we saw? I gave you an example with respect to the Netflix, wherein you saw 2 types of filtering. One was content-based filtering, other one was collaborative filtering. Yes. So that is an example of a personalized recommender system. Fraud detections. So PIN numbers, ATM PIN numbers can be detected. Pathological diagnosis. Even in the case of COVID-19, even in this case of Corona, it has been it has been identified as 10 different types with respect to your genes. So even the pathological departments, they use this kind of data science applications and optimization techniques. So you have the end, you analyze things, you optimize thing, and then you take it out. That is an example for, that is an application of a data science. Now let us see the challenges of the data science. Okay, what sort of challenges you face in this data science, right? Here, one of the challenge, the major challenges, to get an accurate thing, you require a high variety of data that is required for accurate analysis. We need a high variety of information. For example, when you go in, many lady participants are there, I could find. So many people are fond of wearing saris or purchasing new saris from shops like Pothys. Pothys is a retail market. And in Pothys, they give you ads like there are saris such as Vasundhara saris, Vasundhara sells so on. So I do not know certain saris. Okay, there are certain, if you are good at purchasing the silk saris, they say that there are Sungudi saris, there are silk saris, there are Banaras silk, Kanjipuram silk, so on, right? And how do they take the content? So if they want to market it, what you need to do? You need to raise your brand. You need to recognize the brand. Then only you need to go in for marketing. So for this, you need accurate analysis of how many people or fond of purchasing this kind of Vasundhara sarees, which this kind of Kanjipuram silks, with this kind of Benares silks. So you need to get those data. So there are the challenges. How do you identify the customers? How do you make them become a frequent customer for your shop? Right? Nowadays, there is no, even till date, there is no adequate data science talent specialist available, and many management do not provide financial support to purchase or to hire a data science team. So many management lack the financial, they do not give you the financial support for the data science team, and many data will not be accessible at all, will be hidden, will not be available. You will not be allowed to go into the Pothys shop, and you cannot right royally purchase or get the customer data. Only if you are an employee of Pothys, you can purchase. You can get the data. So, few data will not be available. And the data science results, whatever results the data scientists give, will not be effectively used by the business decision makers. They may not be using it fully. So that becomes a flaw, that becomes a challenge. And explaining the data science concepts to a person who does not know statistics at all, who is very poor at mathematics, who does not know, have a knowledge on mathematics, then it becomes very difficult to explain it to him. There are certain privacy issues. Data privacy is the biggest challenge of data science technology, and there are lack of significant domain knowledge. That becomes a challenge for the data science technology. Now let us see the job roles in the data science. So as far as job roles are concerned, many different companies offer. Mu Sigma, companies like Mu Sigma, Tata Consultancy, Microsoft, Google, they offer many roles on this data science. So they call it in different terminologies such as data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, statistician, data architect, data administrator, business analyst, data managers, or analytics manager. What is a data scientist? A person who is a scientist. A scientist is a person who keeps on analyzing, who keeps on checking. Data engineer, a person who engineers the data. And again, it has been called in different term as data analyst. Statistician is a person who keeps on working out, doing the statistics part, who keeps on working out the probability part. And data architect, who is an architect? An architect is a designer who will be building all sort of designs. He is a data architect. Data administrator, who takes care of the data, who administers the data, who takes care of the repository part, wherein we saw about the data warehousing, who takes care of the place where the data has been stored. That is what the data administrator is. Who is a business analyst? Who analyzes the business, who analyzes the business part, the functional domains, who makes you to give a practical solution. Who is a data manager? Who manages the data, who manages the other his subordinates, his team members, who is a data manager, or he is also called as an analytical manager or the data analytics manager, right? These are some of the roles that are available in the data science. Now let us summarize whatever we have seen so far. A data science is the area of study which involves extracting insights from vast amount of data by the use of various scientific methods, algorithms, and processes. In the data science, if you want to become a data scientist, you need to be good at statistics. You need to show it visually. You need to project yourself. You need to be good at deep learning, machine learning, or some of the data science concepts. And as far as the data science process is concerned, it starts with the discovering, preparing the data, model. You need to plan it across. You need to build a prototype. You need to build a model. You need to make it operationalize. You need to make it operational. And when will you get success? When you get more and more admissions. As I gave you a real-time example of college admission, when you get more and more admissions, that communicates your result, that communicates your effort. So that is communicating results. And the important, the vital job roles of data scientists or data scientists, data engineers, data analysts, statistician, data architect, data administrators, business analysts, data managers, analytics manager. Okay, what are some of the data science tools that we have seen so far? The R tool, SQL, Python, SAS are some of the data science tools. What are the applications in which data science are being used? It has been used in internet search, recommendation system, image recognition, speech recognition, gaming, price comparisons, and the recommender systems, as I gave you an example with respect to Netflix. And then the high variety of information and data, or analyzing and acquiring the contents, are said to be some of the one of the major challenge of the data science technology. So this completes your basics of the data science, and I suppose you are able to understand what a data science and what are data sciences and who is a data scientist is, and how do you get to know about this. Is about the basics of data science. So you'll be learning more about this data science when you go in for the data, when you're going to analyze things, and which you'll be seeing it as in the data analyst session, which is also part of this 5-day FDP. So I thank everyone for your patient hearing, and this is how I can be reached at. If you have any queries, you can post me through this email, or this is my mobile number 9841737667. You can ask any query if you have anything related to the data science basics, right? So thanks for your patient hearing. So I welcome for the question part. Thank you,
Dear,
sir.
dear participants, if you have any query, you please ask Mr. Ganeshan.
As well, post how the session was. You let me know how the session is.
Participants, any queries? You raise your voice. Or else you can give a feedback also. Participants. One question they may
Yes,
ask is that
yes, Python is needed. Like it is not mandatory that you need to know only the Python language. You can know, like if you know this R language, it will be better. See, it is an added value for data science. If you know Python, you will become a data scientist. Like it is adding feather to your cap. Any other queries? You can place it in your chat box. If you're not able to say, you can place it in the chat box so that I will answer then and there. Um, According to me, Python is good. Python is easy to learn.
yeah.
It all depends on the user. Either you can choose Python or R. R is useful for it acts as an SPSS tool too. So statistical package tool. So you can use R too. But I am good at Python. I deliver sessions on Python, so I say Python is good according to me. But both are one and the same. You can study any one language. Both languages are said to be very easy. Any other queries?
So Ganesh sir,
Yes, sir. புரியல
I
என்ன
have the
கேக்குறாரு
query. I have the query by Suguna.
சார்?
Suguna is asking some query, you know. Look at chat box.
Recommender system, I use data mining algorithm implemented in our tool for him. No, like, see, in the recommender system, she has, what is the data mining algorithms that she has used matters. See, data mining, there is a difference between data mining and data science. Data mining is you only mine the contents, you only dig the contents, you analyze. So your analysis, with the analysis part, your data mining closes, right? So how do you implement it? How do you generate it into a practical solution? Becomes a data science, right? So the fourth part and the fifth part, as I said, we classified it into 5 different parts. The data, you have stopped with the data mining algorithms alone. When you're going to build a practical solution, when you're going to give it to the public, the generic society, that becomes a data science tool. I suppose you are clear now.
Any other queries?
Any other queries?
So I think there's no questions now. So actually, participants are asking the your presentation, your PPT.
It will be shared in due course, sir.
Yeah, actually,
Those things, sir, based on your FDP.
yeah, okay. Actually, can you share with me?
Okay, sir. We'll discuss.
Okay.
We'll decide.
Yeah,
We'll decide upon
okay, sir. Yeah, okay. Actually,
All
many
right, sir.
participants are.
I suppose the entire session has been recorded, and you can even place it in the YouTube from directly from your college also. That is also
Okay.
possible. What you do is you consolidate all the 5-day session and you place it in the YouTube itself. That alone will suffice, I suppose.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sure. We have the same plan.
Okay. Because the session has been recorded, I suppose. So it will always be better to share it in YouTube so that whenever and whomsoever requires can download it from directly from the YouTube. That will be even more better.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll do it.
Yes, I have a question. Ganesh Narayan, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, I have a strong knowledge in Java.
Sir?
I have strong knowledge in Java. How
Okay.
do I promote Java to data scientist? But I have interest to become a data scientist. How do I implement my Java language into data scientist?
Sir, like as far as data scientist is concerned, it is not the question of implementing language.
Okay.
See, when you have a strong knowledge in Java, it is good for you. The thing is here, how do you visualize it? How do you say for example, if you're going to determine, or if you're going to explain a concept to your friend, right? How do you say it? Only you will be, instead of saying it theoretically, when you're going to show it in a diagrammatic manner, when you're going to show it in a graphical manner, when you're going to show it in a tabular manner, so that he will be understanding it better, right? So I said, for this data science, because in the data analytics section, you will be seeing more on this Python part. So when you know Java, if you know a few concepts in Python, you can integrate your Java language with the Python language, and you have a separate language called as Jython, which is a combination of your Java language. What you say that you're good at Java, it is a combination of the Java language and the Python language. What you do is, before you could go into this data analytics session, you browse the from the Google as Jython, or I'll give you a website called jython.org. When you go to that website, you can know how to use the Java language that you know into this Python. And this Python also, wherein we will be like this Python, with this Python also, you have a NumPy. With NumPy is the tool wherein which uses the graphical part, which is used to display the graphs, which is used to display your diagrammatic sessions, right? So wherein you use this NumPy. So when you're going to use this NumPy for this, your good knowledge of Java, which can also be used upon, which can also be shared in this NumPy screens. So for that you require Python.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Another question is there. So Ganesh sir,
Yes,
it's a
Python
question
we
from
can lib for data analysis. Yes, you can use it. Yes, you can use it. Definitely yes. Matplotlib is one of the analysis tool that is used using this Python. Yes, you can. I suppose I have answered the query for Anita Sampath, madam.
any more questions? Okay, sir. Shall we wind up?
Yes, sure.
Actually, there's no questions more.
Okay.
So we'll come to the conclusion. So I'd like to thank Dr. Ganesh for his valuable session, which is highly informative. I hope the participants also gain more knowledge from data science. So once again, I thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And tomorrow we have the two sessions. First session will be at 10:30, and second session will be at 3:30. Have any queries? Please contact us. Otherwise, watch the WhatsApp group. So I hope you'll understand. We have the two sessions on tomorrow. Morning session at 10:30, and afternoon session is at 3:30. Have any doubt? Have any queries? Please contact us. Otherwise, frequently watch the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Okay, sir. Thank
Okay.
you so much, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Participants, thanks a lot for your patient hearing,
Sir,
and I
thank you,
suppose
sir.
I
Thanks,
have
sir.
answered most
Thank
of
you,
your
sir.
queries. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will leave the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah.